Hey guys, Kibby, and today we are going to do a transfer flop video. I've been wanting to do this as well as here's some of the subs. And first off, we've got Keane, who moved to Liverpool for about 30 mil. Bebe, who, well, Man United just got ripped off and then gave him away for very cheap, next to nothing. Same with Anderson, really. Came from the youth, but bought a lot of money for him from, I think, a Brazilian team, but got nothing. And Aquilani, I think Liverpool bought him for like 20 odd mil and got ripped off as well, which is quite poor. Liverpool are one team that get ripped off though. Lescott was bought from Man City for about 26 mil, and in the summer I think he was either released or sold very cheap. And then Matt Smith, who played for Leeds, and then he just jumped for not that much. And then Santa Cruz, who was bought from Man City and was rubbish. So first off, we're going to start off with a goalkeeper in the Championship who plays for Watford, as I find it there, and he's called Julio Gomez. So he was at PSV and then he joined Tottenham for 6 million, which was a bit of a rip-off, and I think he plays for Watford he signed for free now, so that was a bit of a rip-off on Tottenham's part, but it's only 6 mil, it isn't as bad as some in this video. So our next one is going to be the French centre-back Squigali, I think that's his name. He moved 4 mil to Sevilla to Arsenal, and then Arsenal let him go for free. I don't know why Arsenal bought him, but nevertheless it was a rip-off on their behalf. But it's only 4 mil to them, they probably don't even care that much. But we're going to move on now to our Championship centre-back called Woodgate, who he was at Newcastle, joined Real Madrid, and he moved for 13.4 million, and he got red card and scored a goal in his debut, if you heard about that story. And he only played about 9 games, and he was there like 3 years, so I think that's it's about 3 games a year, which is quite poor for £14 million, £30 million player. But next is Sean Wright-Phillips, who moved from Chelsea to Man City to Chelsea for 21 mil, and then he moved back to Man City, I think, and then QPR, and then he gave him to QPR for free, which was a bit of a rip-off, but nevertheless Chelsea got quite a lot of money. But next we move on to Downing, who was actually at Aston Villa to Liverpool, and then Liverpool bought him for 20 mil. As I say, Liverpool always get ripped off. I don't know why, but they just seem to get ripped off. But then they did make a bit back on him. I think they sold him for about 5 mil, but to West Ham, which isn't the best. But we're going to move to a Ukraine centre back. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name, but he was at Shakhtar Donetsk and then sold him to Barcelona for 25 million euros, and then bought him back for 15, as he was at Barcelona for a couple of years. But it was a bit of a rip-off, but they only lost 10 mil. For a club like Barcelona, they probably don't even care. But nevertheless, we move on to our centre mid, Kaká, who I actually got a quite good deal, and he obviously moved to Real Madrid from Milan for 68.5 million euros, and then went back to Milan for free, and now he's at Orlando City, I think, and he was in loan at Sao Paulo earlier in the year. But next we go on and get a right mid who currently plays for Aston Villa. You probably know him. He's been around England for a while. He's just not that good. No one really gets him. He's at Joe Cole. He moved West Ham. He didn't want to play for West Ham. He declined their contract, so he joined Chelsea for 6.6, and then they let him go to Liverpool for free, which is a bit of a flop. And then it's never really been as good as he has at West Ham or Chelsea, really. That's probably why they let him go for free. So our left mid, who actually play up front in the game I play at the end, we get Balotelli, who, well, yeah, it's a flop for Liverpool, 16 mil. I thought this was a good deal at the start of the year, but he hadn't even scored a Premier League goal yet, which is very poor on my behalf, and I think that isn't really a Premier League standard for 16 mil, not even to get a goal yet, which is a rip-off. But next we have Andy Carroll, who Liverpool actually bought for 35 mil off Newcastle, and they sold him for 15, so they lost 20 mil, which is quite poor. But then they made a ton on Suarez and a ton on Torres, who is actually, funny enough, going to be our next striker. Probably the biggest transfer flop in the world I'd say, to this day. And obviously they bought him for not that much of Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, and then they sold him 50 mil, and then every club's been releasing him. But now that's the team, and we're going to go on to the match. So this is the team we're going to be playing, and he's got a very, very sweaty team, very good. And we move on to the game. So we actually losing 3-0 towards the end of half time. If you're making a championship or Brazilian silver team, do not get Aurelio Gomez, but Andy Carroll hits one in the back of the net. And then Balotelli was doing something he doesn't really do at Liverpool. He missed 2 sitters for me in this game, but he gets one in there, and this is he's good on a good bit of form. And then his last goal of the game that I'm going to show, and he hits it home similar to his first one. So that's been the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like. If you want to see another transfer video tomorrow, leave a like, subscribe, and see you next time.